Welcome back everybody to another Icarus Mods video. Today's video is mainly going to be going over some of the new features I've added to the Mod Manager for people that are creating mods or editing mods. First thing you'll notice is that the latest versions of the Mod Manager has a different banner view. It uses the full screen instead of just the small corner with the list of files. If you're interested in creating a mod that utilizes the full size, the banner image would be 256 by 768, and you would just call it banner.png. Make sure it's a PNG file format, and this will automatically load it in there if it's in the mod folder. If I open up the mods folder, you'll see I have banner.png in here, and it's 256 768. You will also notice that it fades it around the corner. You do not need to add that. The Mod Manager will automatically add that fade around the image for you to blend it in. So let's get into some of the new features. Let's go ahead and create a new mod. So if you go over to the left and right click and select create new mod, I'm going to just type in a new mod. Click OK. And you'll see on the left here, it added it to the list. You right click, and you'll see that there's two editors now. So if you're trying to edit one mod based off another mod, you can actually open them up both at the same time, especially if you have two monitors or three monitors. It helps a lot. I found myself doing that quite a bit, trying to look at how I did things before in a previous mod to add it to a newer mod. Came up with the idea of adding two editors, so you can have two editors open at the same time. So we're just going to go ahead and open editor 1, and you'll see we have a new mod here. The first thing I usually do is go in here and remove these underscores. Click save, close the mod, refresh the list on the left, and you'll see it pop back up, and then go into the editor again. As you can see, this mod doesn't have any files. There's a couple different ways you can add files to this. If you go and space down and make sure you're right in between here and the rows, you can actually right click and select insert file at cursor, and it will bring up all the files, the JSON files in the game. It has a couple categories here. You can do talents, so any of the JSON files in the talents sections, tools, or traits. So if we want to just edit, say, durability of an item, you just double click that and you'll see durabilities up here. And then if you wanted to add the item in there, you would just go up, save it, click the reload in the upper left. It'll reload the files, click durable, and then view original. And then let's just say the new tier 4 pistol. You'll select right above that, and you don't want that comma. You just want the data in between. Let's copy that, put it right in the center there, and paste it. And then when you click save, it reformats the JSON, and then you could just change that to whatever you want, and you're done, if that was the purpose of your mod. So that's one way of adding a file. If you want to add another one, you just go right in the middle of the two, like that again, right click, and then click insert file. There's another way of doing this. If you were to view original for the durability file, you'll notice that it has all the mod files, or all the JSON files in the game on the left. So if we just wanted to do, say, fuel also, you can actually just right click on that and select copy, and then close this, and then go right in between there like that and paste. And it will actually paste that file and all the JSON it needs right in there. Click save, and you see it reformats it. Click reload, and you have fuel there. So then you would do the same thing, view original, the fuel, whatever JSON you'd want, copy it, put it right in the center there, paste it, click save, and it reformats it, and you're all set. So that's one way of adding files to a new mod. Another way of doing it is by, if you go over here to the new function called Add Item to Mod. When you click on that, it brings up this other menu. So in this, you'll see it has a craftable item, consumable item, building piece, electric generator, and water pump. So these are just basically generic JSON sets of data that will be loaded in there. And you can create more, and you can create more if you want. You would just right click over here and click Open Custom Items JSON. Make sure you're in Editor 1. And then it brings this file up. And these are just basically available templates. And you can modify this to create any kind of template you want. The format is similar to an extracted mod. So you'll have the available template items. This will stay the same. And then after that, you have options, which is an array. And then it has the name, craftable item. You'll see if you look up here on the left, craftable item. You see this mod is called craftable item. And then this is all the JSON that template contains. And you'll see it all says temp name. So any name that you want to replace, or any item name that you want to replace when you create this and import it in, you're going to want to call it temp name. So you see down here it says for itemable item temp name, and then item temp name, display name, temp name, and then you can see with the icons and everything it uses temp name. Same with the mesh, temp name. So when you import this, it's going to ask you for a new name, and whatever name you put that in there, anywhere in this template that has temp name, that temp name will be replaced with the new name you give it. So if you decide to create custom templates, then just keep that in mind, that any of the names or any part of this JSON, the values that you want to be replaced with the new name of the item, you just call it temp name. So that's one way using these. Let me close this. Go back into this mod. The other new feature I've added, I'll delete these, is you can actually add an entire item right to the mod using the original items button. So this loads the custom items, and this loads all the items in the game. So say you were wanting to modify the new tier 4 pistol or create a new tier 4 pistol just based off of the other one. You would type in pistol and you'll see the tier 4 pistol. Double click it. So if you're wanting to modify the existing pistol, you would leave this the same way it is. If you were wanting to create a duplicate of it and then modify that in your game, then you would just rename this. So we're just going to leave it the same. Click OK, and you'll see all the JSON files for that item have been loaded in for the tier 4 pistol. So once you have them all loaded in, you just click Save Changes and then go over to the left, Reload Mod, and you see it loads all the JSON files for that tier 4 pistol. So if you click on Itemable, it takes you right to the Itemable, and you can see the values that are set in Itemable file for the pistol. So you could go through and make all your changes to the pistol that you wanted to. And once you are done, since this loads in all the JSON for this item, obviously you don't need the mod to contain all this. So if we were just to change, say, the durability to 20,000 and say the ammo capacity to 20, reload time, and if we were to go up here and change, say we wanted to change how fast it took to craft, we wanted to drop that down to say just 100 milliseconds to craft and reduce what it took for in titanium, you would change that. And if that's the only changes you wanted to make, instead of keeping all this JSON in this mod, we can re-extract this. So if you right click and select re-extract current JSON, it will remove any of the redundant values that still match the original game's value. So next week when there's an update, if they make changes to this pistol, it won't be affected, except for the items that you changed. So we'll go ahead and re-extract the JSON, and you'll see it is merging it back in. And once it merges this back into the original JSON, it will then extract it to remove all the changes that were made, and then it completes it. And you can see that it kept the values for the millijoules for crafting, the recipe changes, the ammo capacity and the reload time, and the durability is all that it kept. So it reduced all that JSON down to only the values that were changed. So let's go ahead and remove all this. Reload. That's going to wrap things up for this video. I do want to mention I've seen a couple people post pictures of their mod manager, and it has a weird font. Just so everybody knows, if you go into the UI editor, you can actually change the font. A couple versions ago when I released this, I used a Fira code font that most people don't have on the computer, and I didn't know that. So it defaults to some weird Windows font. So if you open up your editor and you don't like the font, just keep in mind that you can change it. And this is what I use, Fira code. But you can use whatever font is on your system to make it look nice. So I hope you guys enjoy, and hope it helps some of you guys out creating mods. And we'll see you on the next one.